What's up, y'all? It's me, Angel B, and welcome back to the Healthy and Healed Lifestyle Exchange. Life after trauma isn't easy. However, the road to restoring yourself back to health is extremely necessary. Join me as Ngozi and I share how self-care was a major part of our healing journey. It's time to get personal. Let's focus on you. So, Ngozi, welcome to the Healthy and Healed Lifestyle Exchange. Today, we're going to be talking about self-care after life after trauma, right? So, kind of sort of tell us your story and where your self-care journey began.
Yes. My story began about 4 years ago in 2016. I had just told my parents that I got a full ride to study Arabic in Jordan. And this was the first country that I've ever been to without, I've just got my passport like months before. So I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So I went there by myself. And I ended up being sexually assaulted the last week of my time there. So it was something that I was really messed up about because I didn't have the time to really address the situation because all I wanted to do was just go back home to the States and be with my family. And it was hard for me to, feel like I could have done more and I could have stayed, but it was just really difficult. So that, and then just shortly after, my dad gathered the family around and told us that he was, dying, and we didn't know when it was going to happen. So just going through the whirlwind and also just juggling school, taking 22 credits a semester just to graduate on time. It was just a lot of pressure. And I knew that I needed help and I couldn't do it by myself. So I sought therapy that year. And since then, it's just been, such a healing journey ever since.
That's so awesome. How would you define self-care?
So for me, it was an evolutionary process. Self-care, as mainstream calls it, like, oh, take a nice bath or go on a trip, do things that make you feel good, get your nails done, your hair done. That's all really good stuff that I have learned to practice and learn to incorporate into my daily routines. And that does help me keep sane. But I also learned that there are some things that I hadn't healed. And I knew that I had to go deeper into whatever it was that was holding me back from being the best version of myself so that I could be as healed as possible. And that is caring for myself, which is confronting all of my trauma, all of my hardships. And that took a lot of tears, a lot of really hard moments. It's just, it was hard all around, but I knew that the goal, if I could reach that goal closer and closer to being better and one with Christ and healed with Him, then I knew that I could do exactly what He was telling me to do.
Yeah. For me, in order to really heal from my traumatic experience, I had to learn that self-care isn't selfish, right? And so it has like this negative when we think about it, it's just like people think, oh, okay, well, now that you're going to take a break from the world, then all right, well, what about us, right? Because I'm a caregiver at heart. So whether I'm taking care of the children that I'm caring for or whether it's my family and things like that, when I decided to take my self-care journey, people looked at me like, no, how dare you, right? I separated myself from social media for an entire year. I started therapy, and even now that I started therapy and took that year off to really rediscover myself, it's working on my physical health. Like, what is it that I need to do to restore myself back to health, to being healthy and healed, right? What kind of things do you do to like really just take care of yourself?
Yes. So I learned that there are some parts in my life as well that I struggled with that I just did not want to face before. And that was part of my self-care journey, similar to yours. So I also got on that healthy route. I was a vegan at one point, and then that didn't work out because my hair was falling out. So I was like, okay, now I have to learn about different lifestyle diets and like how I can be as whole as I could be, because I developed a lot of autoimmune disorders. During my time of stress and during my time of trauma, like my hair was falling out, I developed like skin disorders. It was really, really rough for me, and I had to heal myself. So I started eating better. I started being more mindful about my blood type and just getting to understand more about plant medicine. I was taking Adderall and I was taking Wellbutrin, trying to like get through COVID.
Right.
And I didn't like how I stared at walls for an hour or for 10 hours sometimes. So I learned how to take myself off of that as well. It was a hard process of fasting and praying. I had to do a lot of spiritual detox, a lot of emotional, physical detoxing. I fasted from social media as well. Off and on, I reevaluated my friendships, and that was really hard. Developed different boundaries and communication styles with people, and learning how to create unique relationships with people, so that when I do have my withdrawn moments, they understand me a little bit more. So letting people in as well has been a huge step for me as well, because I usually like to just take everything in and do it myself and handle my problems by myself. But my issue has been that I thought I could do it all by myself. So sharing the load has been helpful as well.
A weight lifted. And I think therapy for me, I know worship got me through a lot of trying to recover and heal. I would go to church and I would listen to worship music. But when I realized that wasn't it alone, I needed Jesus and therapy. Like, I was able to process what it was that I was going through and learning how to care for myself. And so now that I cleared my head space and I'm, you know, on this physical journey and things like that, the road to my healing has become like so beautiful. It's like I'm loving who I am. And so I think that's one of the most important benefits from taking care of yourself, is beginning to love yourself, because other people can love you, but if you don't love yourself at the end of the day, you know, what is there, honestly.
Exactly.
And so you have some projects going on. Tell us about how people could connect with you and what it is that you do.
Yes, so I now consider myself like a wellness enthusiast. I started a YouTube channel, so now I'm doing a talk on wellness and spiritual health and understanding how to hear God and interpreting like life and it is as it is. So I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm also working on a documentary from my father to just help tell his life story, because that's also a healing process for me, which was healing with my dad and understanding, healing my relationship with men in general. So we've actually been working together on a documentary. So that's in the works as well. So I will it's about his journey, it's about my journey, and yeah, so you can reach me at Selfcare Soul Care on Instagram as well as YouTube, and you can just check me out and you can have a wonderful time healing together.
That is so beautiful. Well, I just want to thank you so much for joining this Healthy and Healed Lifestyle Exchange and just being so open and vulnerable and sharing your story with us. My hope is prayer is that people hear, you know, our stories and are able to heal and overcome the traumas that they've been through. Like, they don't have to go through these journeys alone, and learning how to open up and take care of yourself is one of the biggest steps. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.